At that time, I never thought about a future. I didn't think I ever had a future. I didn't know what was going on the outside of life or out behind those walls and the barbed wire on top of it. You know, it was like a prison. And I thought I was serving time for something I didn't do. My father and mother separated because my mother had left us. My father tried to keep us all together, but he was working and someone had phoned the welfare and we were taken into care. Our time spent in there was really cruel and loveless, very cold. There was just sheer neglect. I can remember even being in whether it's a cradle or in the baby unit and crying non-stop, but nobody ever coming to care for you, but being shouted at, humiliated even for having soiled underwear. Everything came under the one roof. There was a school, a classroom there. I think I was more times out in a cold, rusty fire escape, which was always used as a punishment. You know, you were always put down in front of people, put in a corner with a dunce cap in your head. I was pointed out many times for that humiliation or beatings, even there with the straps and the canes. I remember and recall being in that dark room many, many times where they would have took their anger out on you in that room and left you to lie there. After a while you knew that crying wasn't getting you anywhere, you know, so you had to endure it. There was no other way, and you know, I just thought then, because they told me often enough that I was a bad person, evil, that nobody wanted me. I knew nobody wanted me then. You know, so I thought that was my life, and one day they finally said, you have to go. I was told to go in the clothes that I was standing in. No one helped me, no one got me a bus or a taxi or welfare, social services, and I remember walking down that road with my hair hiding my face. I had been so damaged even at that age. I couldn't understand people, and I thought everybody was looking at me and pointing at me and laughing at me, and I put my defence mechanisms in order. I fought with people before they would even come to me. Maybe there was people that wanted to help in some way, but I put up these walls. I got mixed up with other people. It was survival of the fittest, and entered into other ways and means of getting money and food to survive. It was just such an awful life that I hadn't got a life at all, you know. It was very, very unstable, reckless. I couldn't believe that anybody would love me, like me even, you know, and that's why I was in sort of all situations where there was trouble. I had been in and out of prison, connected with shoplifting, assault and riotous behaviour, everything. You know, this is where I vented my anger, and that's all I believed to be a troublemaker. I used to cry out, you know, what was wrong with me, what, you know, God, if you're real, please, you know, do something with my life, because I led such a volatile life that I was always on the defensive, and I used to wonder what way was I behaving, why I was behaving in such a way, or was it other people's faults all the time? You know, what was wrong with me? Am I in the wrong? And the Lord decided to show me. I was about to be sentenced in a courtroom, and I promised him with all of my heart, Lord, if you're real, that you would get me off with this. And he did. I just knew there was something in here that told me he was real, and I just yearned to get to know him more, and I began to read anything, any leaflets or tracts or anything about him to find out more about him. I was introduced to the Word for Today at that early stage, and that word was so simple and easy reading for me that he spoke to me in every page. Every page. That happened with the Holy Spirit and I together. There was such pain and instances that happened that I knew it was him taking me back. And in order to bring healing to me, he had to go back, and I had to come through that again. And I just felt a love that I'd never known. I didn't know what love was or have any emotions, you know. I was so mixed up and confused, but I knew there was something happening with this person, and I got to know him all the more, and I knew he was real. You know, I didn't know nothing about these church gatherings and all that in my early days. It was him and I at the kitchen table where he brought me to a place where I began to forgive. They were not perfect, and it was only him that was perfect. He told me this when I read the Bible, and that they were only human beings. I'm now a campaigner for justice for victims of institutional abuse. See, I know I had to forgive these people, or I wouldn't have been able to do what I do now. It becomes easier the more you do it and the more you're determined, because you'll feel yourself getting much lighter that you'll not want to go back. You don't want to go back to that anger and rage. You don't want to go back to them dark times. I've been set free. I've been set free to look at his beauty and be filled with joy. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but as long as I'm with him, that's it.